and tomorrow. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic praying raised. By him ignorance is destroyed. Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Guru Charana Padama Kevala Bhakti Sadama. Shri Guru Charana Padama Kevala Bhakti Sadama. Bandhamui Savadana Mate Bandhamui Savadana Mate Yara prasade bha ebo toriyaja. Yara prasade bha ebo toriyaja. Krishna prapti ho jaha hate. Krishna prapti ho jaha hate. Guru Mukha Padama Vakya Itete Kodiyakya. Guru Mukha Padama Vakya Itete Kodiyakya. Adana kori ho mane asha. Adana kori ho mane asha. Shri Guru Charane Ruti Esa Uttama Gati. Shri Guru Charane Ruti Esa Uttama Gati. Ye prasade pure sarva asha. Viprasade Pure Sarva Acha Chakudana Dilo Dame Dame Prabhu Chakudana Dilo Dame Dame Prabhu Divya Jnana Hriday Prakashita Divya Jnana Hriday Prakashita Prema Bhakti Jate Vidya Vinasudate Prema Bhakti Jate Vidya Vinasudate Hare Raja Hare Charita Hare Raja Hare Charita He Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu He Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Lokana Tukera Devana Srila Prabhupada Tukera Devana Maha Prabhu Kharadaya Deho More Pada Chaya Maha Prabhu Kharadaya Deho More Pada Chaya Ete Jashu Gushu Tribhuvana Ete Jashu Gushu Tribhuvana Aha Prabhu Kharadaya Deho More Pada Chaya 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 Ete Jashu Tribhuvana Srila Prabhupada Pavana Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Te Namine Namo Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Astachari Sutarine Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Mekha Go Hira Hare Hare Gaura Hare Sumati Nandana Braja Bharanagara Gokula Dandana Kana Sumati Nandana Braja Bharanagara Gokula Dandana Kana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliyadamana Vidana Kaliyadamana Vidana Namaya Hare Nama Meya Vilasa Amala Hare Nama Meya Vilasa Vipina Purandara Vinanagara Vara Pankivadana Suvasa Vipina Purandara Vinanagara Vara Pankivadana Suvasa Jana Palana Surakula Nasana Jana Palana Surakula Nasana Nanda Godhana Rakoala Ananda Godhana Rakoala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Hey Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Ayasomati Nandana Bhajavarunara Gokula Rangana Kana Jasomati Nandana Bhajavarunara Gokula Rangana Kana Yamuna Tatsutara Gopi Vasanara Yamuna Tatsutara Gopi Vasanara Rasara Sikha Kripama Rasara Sikha Kripama Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabhara Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabhara Kokoti Vinodasraya Kokoti Vinodasraya Amala Hare Nama Meya Vilasa Hey Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabhara Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranika, Gauranika, Jaya Gauranika, Gauranika, Jaya Gauranika, Jaya Gauranika, Jaya Gauranika, Jaya Gauranika. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Go Viva Hare
Hariba, Gaura Hariba. Anika Gaura Hariba, 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 Gaura Hariba. Gaura Premanande, Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtotarastu Shri Simaresi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jaya. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtotarastu Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jaya. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jaya. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jaya. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गिरार हर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। नूरमनरेती धाम की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। यमुना माई की जय। गंगा माई की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। समवेता भक्त वृंद की जय। आगो श्री समलवती, आगो श्री समलवती, आगो श्री समलवती, आगो श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग। Shri Shri Radhesham Ki Jai. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 14, Text 12. In this age, saintly persons should help the general populace not by political action, but by chanting the Mahamantra. Saintly persons are not interested in political matters, yet they are always thinking of the welfare of the people in general. Consequently, they sometimes have to come down to the political field and take steps to correct the misguided government or royalty. However, in Kali Yuga, saintly persons are not as powerful as they previously were. They used to be able to burn any sinful man to ashes by virtue of their spiritual prowess. Now, saintly persons have no such power due to the influence of the age of Kali. Indeed, the Brahmanas do not even have the power to perform sacrifices in which animals are put into a fire to attain a new life. Under these circumstances, instead of actively taking part in politics, saintly persons should engage in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By the grace of Lord Chaitanya, by simply chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the general populace can derive all benefits without political implications. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So tonight, Mother Govinda Dasi will be speaking in the temple room. You will get a chance, it's interactive, so you'll get a chance to ask questions and go deep into the history of ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada and so forth. Any questions you can ask with regards to that. There is a religious diversity program today where they have once or twice a year they do it at the Santa Fe Community College. Mother Akuti will be going with a few others. I guess she already has some people planned out. But if you would like to go, you can talk to her. They set up a book table. She makes prasadam and brings it out there, and everyone gets a chance to taste prasadam, those who come to the table, and they get books, and then you can also speak to them and engage them in Krishna consciousness like that. Bhadra Prabhu and myself, we're going to Puerto Rico and other islands in the Caribbean to prepare ahead of time for Ratha Yatra, first ever Ratha Yatra in Puerto Rico.
our Puerto Rico temple is has always been struggling for many years for devotees, and so they would like to start some preaching programs where they can actually make their own devotees there in Puerto Rico, and so this is one project in that area of doing Ratha Yatra. So we'll be going there and making arrangements for devotees who will be coming, and also collection, expenses and so forth. So please bless us so that we'll be successful. And today's class will be given by Pushkar Prabhu, and here are the devotees who have assisted their guru in dressing the deities. Shri Shri Radhe Shyam were dressed by Mother Nanda, Chota Radhe Shyam by Mother Leela, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram by Mother Guru Prasad, Chota Krishna Balaram by Mother Ananda Vardini, Shri Shri Gaurnitai, Mother Ashtasaki, Chota Gaurnitai, Mother Gandharvika, and the Gurus and Lord Nrsingadev by Krishna Kripa Moy.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Suranandana Brajajana Ranjana Dara Suranandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupada Mahanza Paribhajika Charja Stutra Shishi Maresi Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON DBT founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sikha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Govinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Matguru Vrindavan Dham Ki Maipur Navadvip Dham Ki New Ramanreti Dham Ki Jagannathpuri Dham Ki Tulasi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jamuna Mai Ki All glories to the Asam devotees, all glories to the devotees. Glories to the Asam devotees, all glories to Guru Guranga Nandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 54, verse 6 through 12. Tesham tad vikramam vira garasankarshanadaya amrishyamana narachaya jagnor hayagajanratan. The heroes of the Lord's army, headed by Gada and Sankarshan, could not tolerate the aggression of the opposing kings. Thus, with iron arrows, they began to strike down the enemy's horses, elephants, and chariots. Petu shirang siratinam ashvinang gajinam bhuvi sakundala karitani shoshni chatkoti shaha. Translation. The heads of soldiers fighting on chariots, horses, and elephants fell to the ground by the millions. Koti Shaha. Also says, and some heads wore earrings and helmets, and others turbans. Text 8. Ashta shashi gadeshvasa Garabha uravongraya Ashvasvatara nagostra Karamritmartya shirangsicha. Lying all around were thighs, legs, and fingerless hands, along with hands clutching swords, clubs, bows. Also the heads of horses, donkeys, elephants, camels, wild asses, and humans. Anybody want breakfast? Purport. Karabha indicates the portion of the hand from the wrist to the base of the fingers. The same word may also indicate an elephant's trunk. And thus, in this verse, the implication is that the thighs lying on the battlefield resemble the trunks of elephants. It's one of Vishwanath Chakravarti's. Text 9. Hanyamana balanika Vishnibir jaya kankshibhi Rajano vimukha jagmor Jarasandha purasara. Translation. Seeing their armies being struck down by the Vrishnis who were eager for victory, the kings headed by Jarasandha were discouraged and left the battlefield. Purport. Although Shishupal had not married Rukmini, he passionately considered her as property, and thus he was devastated, like a man who had lost his beloved wife. 10. Okay. Wow. Okay. 10. Shishupalam samabhetya Pitadaram ivaturam Nashtatvisham gatotsaham Jushad vadanam abruvan. Translation. The kings approached Shishupal, who was disturbed like a man who has lost his wife. His complexion was drained of color. His enthusiasm was gone. His face appeared dried up. The king spoke to him as follows. Text 11. Bo, Parusha Sardula, Daurmanasyamidang Tyaja, Napriya Priyayo Rajan, Nishtadehi Shudrishyate. Jarasandha said, listen, Shishupala, O tiger among men, give up your depression. After all, embodied beings' happiness and unhappiness is never seen to be permanent, O king. 12. Yata darumayi yoshit nityate kuhat kechaya evam ishvara tantroyam ehate shukadhukaya. Translation. Just as a puppet in the form of a woman dances by the desire of the puppeteer, so this world controlled by the Supreme Lord struggles in both happiness and misery. Purport. By the will of the Supreme Lord, living beings are awarded the proper results of their own activities. One who understands the Absolute Truth surrenders to the Absolute Truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and is no longer considered to be within the material system of existence. Since those endeavoring within the material system or world are necessarily trying to exploit the creation of God, they must be subjected to reactions which are perceived by the conditioned souls as miserable and joyful. In fact, the entire material way of life is a fiasco when seen from the perspective of absolute bliss. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshumritam Jana Tasmai Shri Maha Chaitanya Manobhishtam Tapidam Jena Bhutale Svayam Rupagada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shigaro Shijuta Kamalam Shigarum Vaishnavam Scha Shirupam Sagajatam Sahagana Vaganatam Nitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shirada Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shivashakamitam Scha. Hey Krishna Karana Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kandara Vikanta Namostute Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kipasindubhye Vachapati Tanam Pavanido Vaishnavi. Wow. Oh, we never did any word meanings, did we? Sorry for that. The last one we should have done. Anyway, I'll say a few here. The last 2 or 3 verses were the most religible as far as from some consideration. But there is description here from 6 and about the iron arrows striking down the enemy's horses and elephants and chariots, the heads of the soldiers. Not just reading, they're going from 6 and 7. I'm just giving a recap of the action in case somebody missed it. It might not stick in your head. The heads of the soldiers fighting on chariots, horses, and elephants fell to the ground by the millions. Sakundala Kiritani and Ashvinam Gajinam Bhuvi. Bhuvi means the earth. And those riding on horses are Ashvinam Petu Shirangchi. The heads, Ratinam. Shiro Rishikesha. There's a description of Ambarish Maharaj, that one, he used his head, Shiro Shikesha, Padabhivandanam, to Roshikesha, Shiro Shikesha, and he walked to the temple with his feet. And he offered prayers, Vachangchi Vaikunta, all the limbs of his body. So this is a description of what happens when you don't do that. Shiro, you don't use... Baraparampata Karita Jushtam. In the second canto, also, the turbans are also described here. And Shukadeva Goswami gives us a nice hint that Baraparampata Karita Jushtam Apyutamangam Nanamanda. The silken turban, if not bowed down, if your head has a big silken turban like these kings, and you don't use it to bow down to Mukunda, who gives liberation, the word is there significant, then it is no better than, it is just a heavy weight. So, if you're drowning and you don't know how to swim, and you don't have a turban, you won't drown as fast as if you have a big heavy turban. Prabhupada describes that. Turban or a crown, karita. And earrings also glittering. That's also described by Shukadev. Karauharo, that if one's hands have glittering bangles, and Shavokaro no kurute saparyam, Hare la satkanchana kankanova. And he has very nice glittering bangles and beautiful crown on his head. It's just like decoration for a dead body, karoharo. So he goes on like that. If your eyes are not used, see their heads are falling, their earrings, thighs, legs, fingerless hands, hands clutching swords, clubs, bows, heads of horses, donkeys, elephants, camels. Pretty ghastly, basically. So obviously here then it says they were very discouraged. They left the battlefield. So they're supposed to be Kshatriyas and they're supposed to die on the battlefield. But they left. And then so he was disturbed like a man who has lost his wife. He wasn't even married. He had meditated so much on this Rukmini that he was just like described like a man who lost his wife. And Darumai, in fact, yeah. Yata Darumai Yoshi Nityate Kuha Kechaya. Dances by the desire of the puppeteer, Kuhaka. So, a showman. In the beginning of the Bhagavatam, this word is used, is the first verse. Kuhaka. Janma Jasya, right here you can chant the verse. Teni Brahma Hridayarika Vaye Muyanti at Surya. Tejo Varimadam Yata Venimyo. Tat Sagavasha. Dana Svena, Narasta Kuhakam. Narasta Kuhakam means the illusory magic show that's going on. And that verse described also that Varimridam Yata Vinimayo, that sometimes you see on the desert that looks like water, sometimes on the water you see it looks like land, or sometimes it looks like fire. The material elements get juggled around beyond our control. But sometimes it's surprising to see that Jarasandha is speaking such nice philosophy. And you'll see that Hiranyakashipu, he also speaks philosophy. Sometimes Ravana speaks philosophy. And Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu gave a very rather nice little lecture about when his brother had been killed, about the that king. And that king, his wives were very attached to him. Then a little boy came, instructed the wives why you're so attached to this. So these asuras, they knew very well philosophy. At least theoretically, they knew philosophy. More than an ordinary person now who might consider himself very pious in Kali Yuga. He doesn't know very much philosophy. And they knew this philosophy. When Vasudeva was attempting to save his new wife, Devaki, he instructed Kamsa so many ways that Aho Janma Vatam Vira Paninam Iha, he says, Dehishu, though Saha Dehena Jayate, he told him, appealing to, and he knew that Kamsa knew some philosophy, so he was appealing to him. He said, my dear Kamsa, that today or tomorrow, Aja Vabda Satani Cha, Aja means today, or Abda Shatani means after hundreds of years you may die. Dehena Sahajayate, your next body is your death is there with the birth. Sahajayate. As soon as we're born, Dhruva Mrityu is described in the second, what is that verse? Dhruva Mrityu? The second chapter of the Gita. For those who are born, death is certain. That when as soon as you're born, your death is certain. So this is the philosophy being spoken. So Jarasandha, listen, Shishupala, O tiger among them, give up your depression, all embodied beings, happiness. Suke duke samekritva. One has to become free of this suke duke. And this is definitely a miserable situation for these soldiers, and Shishupal is heading them up in Jarasandha. So dancing, yata darumai yoshi nutyate, jari nache. There's one verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita that everyone is Bhrutya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the only master. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Ishvara. Everyone else is dancing as a little puppet. And Srila Prabhupada also used this example in his poem that make me dance like a little doll. So we can dance according to this Krishna philosophy, or we have to dance according to Maya. There's practically in between, there is some gray area, but basically we have to move according to either the spiritual instructions of the Bhagavatam or according to the bad instruction of our senses and mind. Kama adinam katina katita palita dornidesha. Dornidesha means very bad upadesh. Upadesh Amrita is given by Rupa Goswami. That's good instruction. So many good instructions are given. But there's many bad instructions. In the beginning, Shishupal was getting also bad instruction. I mean, he's getting continually bad instruction. Here he's getting a little bit of good instruction. But generally speaking, those who don't take shelter, ashraya, namashraya, korijatane tumi, some shelter of this Krishna conscious philosophy, then their future is dark, or their present is also dark, because they're dancing according to the Maya. Tribhya gunamaya bhavare ebi sarvamidam jagat mohitam navajanati mohitam sarvagana vimudham tam. Krishna describes in many places in Gita. Nidra lasha, nidra bish, mohitam sarva dehinam. Those who are embodied, sarva dehinam, they're, as soon as they contact the modes of nature, satam rajas tama iti, then mohanam sarva dehinam. They're put into illusion in this material world, as said throughout every chapter of Bhagavad Gita, through every chapter in the Bhagavatam. Just as a puppet in the form of a woman dances by the desire of the puppeteer, So either we dance directly by getting the instruction here in the Bhagavatam, by the will of the Supreme Lord, the living beings are awarded the proper results. Nrideham sulabam sudurlabam. Later on in 11th canto, there's a very nice verse about this human form of life. Nrideham sulabam. It's very difficult to achieve. And although Jarasandha, Shishupal, they've all achieved in this story, the human form, they're not utilizing it correctly. And similarly, most everybody in this material world, they're not utilizing this human form. They're simply dancing to Maya. Maya mohita chaitasa. And their educational system is encouraging that. Just now there's a lapse in this, that Jarasandha is instructing this very nice instruction. It's not like we should reject Jarasandha's instruction, because it's sometimes the demoniac persons, they're speaking some nice instruction. Chanakya Pandit says that we take very nice instruction, even if it's given by a low-born person or whoever it may be. Or we take a wife, even she's born in a low family, or even gold from a stool, from a nasty place. Vishadap yamritam, vishadap graham, vishadap. One should take, even from poison, one should take nectar. So here we're taking the nectar from Jarasandha's lips, given here in the pages of the Bhagavatam. He is like a man who lost his wife. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also uses this analogy, Darumayi, that he talks about Ramananda Roy, that Ramananda Roy was so transcendental to the material world that he could train young girls in a very intimate way. But he said for himself, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying, even if I see the wooden form, Darumayi, Yosi Darumayi, a wooden puppet of a woman, then my mind will become agitated. So how can anybody in this material world become so puffed up to think that he may be transcendental to Maya? That Daivi Yesha Gunamaya Mama Maya Duratyaya Mama Evage Prabhajante. That this Maya is so powerful, Daivi Yesha Gunamaya. Prabhupada would say many times that the difficulty of my students is they don't think that Maya is very strong, that they have already very transcendental, they can do whatever they want. And this is a dangerous situation for all of us. And Maya is so powerful. So whatever the mind is thinking, another thing that Vasudeva was instructing to Kamsa. Kamsa had this little interlude where he became a little soft-hearted. So he took advantage and he described how the body, one takes a body according to what he's thinking at the time of death. Yang vapi smaram bhavam tyajat yante kalevaram. Deha pacha kalarta yushu. But we're all so attached. Deha pacha kalarta. Kala means also white. Here, Shishupal, he's just meditating. Just see. He's just thinking. Gayato Vishaya Pungsang. Just by meditation on that Rukmini, he's so attached. He didn't even come anywhere near Rukmini. He's so attached to her form. Just by seeing a little bit, he may have gotten a little glance. Rukmini took 10 steps into that temple, Ambika temple, and then Krishna swooped her up as soon as she came out. So just by seeing that, all those soldiers were falling off their horses and so disturbed their minds. So this is the power of Maya. And he's so attached. Dancing. So this dancing, Prabhupada said, if we don't dance, like in the temple room or in the Harinam, then we'll be forced to dance in the ballroom dancing or the punk dancing or some dancing. We all want some exercise. We like music. There was one one lady in Alachua some years ago. And she said she wanted to, there was a restaurant, Govinda's, so she was trying to get the top part opened up so that devotees could do what they call club dancing. So I was a bit taken aback. I mean, you don't get surprised after a while, but I was a little surprised. I said, why do you want to do that? She said, well, they're going club dancing anyway. You may as well do it in Govinda's. So I said, well, why don't they just go to the temple and dance in the Kirtan? We need people there to dance. And Harinam, there's always a few spots extra on the sidewalk. And, but, so this is going on. This is not something impractical. Prabhupada said, if you're not engaging all those senses, Vachangse Vaikuntha Gunanare, to describe Vaikuntha, Krishna's name Vaikuntha, means it's a good description because there's no anxiety in that dancing. If you dance for Krishna, Vaikuntha Nama Grahanam, if you take the name of Vaikuntha, his name is Vaikuntha, he is Vaikuntha, and if you chant Hare Krishna and you dance for Krishna, then the whole world becomes Vaikuntha. But without that, the same desires will be diverted back to Maya. It happens every time. It's a foolproof system. I think he mentioned there, Hridayananda Maharaj, about the system within the material system. Since those endeavoring within the material system or world are necessarily trying to exploit the creation of God, they must be subjected to reactions. So this is the point. We're not independent, as described by of Krishna in the beginning till the end of the Bhagavatam. Janmadhyas yato anvayat itaratas chartis abhigyas farat. He's farat, but we're not. He's abhigya, he knows everything. We're dependent. Tad britya britya, brityasya brityati mam, smaralokanata. And we're so insignificant that we cannot directly go to Krishna and become a servant and maintained, but rather we have to be Tadera Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva Janame Janame Hoy. Narottam Das is praying like that. Janame Janame. Even though I get newer and newer body, just as Rukmini was saying, Janame Janame Hoy Abhilas. That's my desire. If I can just serve the lotus feet of the six Goswamis. He's not even trying to go directly. Narottam Das. Tadera Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva. And Mora Panchagras, he wants to take the dust of these six Goswamis as his 5 types of food stuff. This is the type of shelter that we want to take. He Guru Gyanadadina Bandho Swananda Data Kurunaika Sindhu. Because the Guru, if he's actually Guru, he's Kurunaika Sindhu. He's the ocean of mercy, and he's helping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is speaking Malehoy. I'm a Mora. I'm actually a gardener. But he's imploring all of us to become gardeners, to sprinkle with Shavan Kirtan Jali, Korya Shechan, to sprinkle upon our own creeper this water of hearing and chanting. Sometimes this hearing is a little heavy, just like we just heard this. The arms and legs on the cutoff. But this is just also to show. There was battlefield also going on in 8th canto, in the 6th canto. Heavy, heavy. I mean, even more. The ghosts of the bodies, the demons had been cut down. But they, due to the benediction of their Guru Sukracharya, then the torsos could again rise in the ghostly form with heads and see through the heads. And there was also a much more elaborate description even of this battlefield. And during the discussion between Vitrasura was a huge demon. Vritra means he's covered the entire universe. So he was teasing Indra Indra, a powerful king of the demigods. But Vitrasura was a pure devotee, although he was in the demonic body, but he was teasing him. Why don't you kill me? I don't mind. You're the king of the Devas. You can kill me easily. And similarly, when Indra was speaking with Bali on the battlefield, Bali Maharaj was actually not as powerful as Indra. And he spoke with him, and they were trading insults. But the insults, because they were both great Kshatriyas, and Indra was also haranguing him. It didn't bother Bali, but he also was compared to an elephant. An elephant gets stuck by the goad of the elephant keeper, but he's used to that. He knows, he understands that he has to move this way in this direction. So he's impervious. It just so happened somebody put on my Facebook yesterday or something, I saw this, an elephant. So then I read that and I was thinking of this baby elephant. It was not a little baby, but it was, and there were 17 lions attacking this elephant. Sometimes we hear that a lion is more powerful, but this baby elephant fought off 17 lions. They were trying to, the elephant was very intelligent and went in the water finally, and those cats, they don't like water. But it was a vicious attack. And I was reading that analogy, just as I saw that little video. It's pretty heavy. Material world, I mean. But the lions are not so dangerous as the human beings. The human beings are the most envious, vicious. They kill those elephants just for their tusks. 80%, 100% are killed. Prabhupada used to say millions of elephants are in the African jungle. And who is providing them food? They're eating. But never mind, Krishna may be providing, but the human being is so vicious that you're killing them for, this is a material world. The lions are not successful, but the man is much more vicious. He has some big weapon or something. He can kill anything. So this is the nature of the material world. And so the lesson to be learned here, that we should dance as Jarasandha is speaking, by the desire of Ishvara. Just see, Ishavashamidam Sarvam. He's speaking philosophy of the Upanishads right here. Jarasandha. Ishavashamidam Sarvam. Magridha Kashasvid. Don't take more. They want to take more. He says, well, they're Kshatriyas, but they're beaten down. Just see that Rukmini was taken by Krishna, just like he went by himself practically, Krishna, to take Rukmini. Then Baladev traveled after him with a big army. Still, it was a much smaller army than the Asuras had. Sukha Dukkha, oh. So Prahlad Maharaj also says in his prayers, very nice prayers, I think one of these verses talks about Priya Priya. Yasmat Priya Priya Viyoga Sanyoga Janma. This verse 11. He says, O Tigerman, give up your depression. After all, the body, happiness and happiness never seem to be permanent. Apriya, that desirable and priya. So Prahlad Maharaj, he gives a nice verse also in these words. Yasma priya priya viyoga sanyoga janma. We're always being in contact with that which is desirable and undesirable. But we have to become transcendental to it. Viyoga sanyoga janma duko shadam tarapi dukam atadhyaham. But it sakalayonishu dahyamana. He says, this is, and we go from one womb to another womb, sakalayonishu, and it's just like a burning fire. Vishaya vishanale, divanishi hyajvale. Narottam Das says, Vishaya vishanale. By this contact with Vishaya, sense gratification, Vishaya vishanale, it's just like a poison, burning poison. We're trying to enjoy burning poison in this material world. Vishaya vishanale divanishi means diva, day and night. Hyajvale means burning the heart. It's becoming a cause of burning the heart. So Prahlad Maharaj says, Duko Shadam. We try to get some medicine to counteract it. That medicine is another material thing. Trying to enjoy more. We may get some temporary relief, but antavanti me deha nitya shokta shrirana. Antavanti me deha. This body is antavanta. As soon as it's born, it has an anta, an end. Antavanti me. Nitya shokta shrirana. Shrirana is the person inside the body. Dehi nityam avadyoyam. Dehi savasya bharata. The person in the body is indestructible, but the body is. So when we try to satisfy the body, there's no pleasure. It's simply like more and more pain. So Prahlad Maharaj says, this medicine is causing more misery. Duko shadam tarapi dukam atadhyaham bhumam bravam vadame tavadasa yogam. He says, the real remedy is soham priyasya. You want the real priya, he says in the next verse, soham priyasya Suhridam, that we have to take shelter of the most dear, Lila Kata, and chant the glories of Krishna. And these are the glories also, Bhagavatam. Make no mistake, if we're hearing about all these horrible battlefields, it's still, this Bhagavatam, every shloka is Krishna. Marika Bandhu Mat Sangin, Magurun Mahaddanam. Sanatana Goswami says, it is my only friend, this Bhagavatam. He doesn't say, except for the battlefield. Mareka Bandhu Matsangi, my only association. Madananda Namostute. It is my actual bliss, my only pleasure. Mad Bhagya, my best good fortune. This is our good fortune, to be able to read the Bhagavatam. Even if we think, Ati Nicho Chata Kara. We're the most fallen. Sanatana Goswami describes himself. Ati Nich, the most lowly person. Nij Jati, Nij Sangi. When he was speaking with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami, he said a similar thing. Nij Jati, Nij Jati, Nij Sangi. I have bad association, a bad birth. Kubashaya. And I'm in the well, the dark well of this material world. Janamaga. And so many births I've been suffering like this. Uncountable. And he's asking, Keami, who am I? Why am I afflicted? So when he quit working for the king of Bengal, Nawab Hussain Shah, we still have the Hussains, and they're still causing misery all over the world. So he was also causing big misery, tearing down temples, and therefore Sanatana Goswami said, I cannot help you anymore, he told the king. He was a chief minister, Sanatana Goswami. Chief minister of the king of Bengal. And king of Bengal, he wasn't happy being king of Bengal. No. He wanted to conquer Orissa, the whole world. But he was an insignificant demon. So Sanatana Goswami, when the king sent his spy there, tell me if he's really sick. Is he sick? No. I'll tell you what he's doing. He's studying the Bhagavatam all day. Not only studying, but he has 25 brahmanas around him, all expert in the Bhagavatam, and they're also with him studying Bhagavatam. So we have to take the full shelter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttamashloka. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam. And also there's no need to read other things. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma. Brahma Samhitam is equal to all other shastras. Kimba Pararishvara Sadjo Rujate Trikati Bishushu. All the bad effects of the modes of nature will be washed clean. Trindratam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtan. Ridyantasto Yabadrani. And Krishna will be, he's already in the heart, but he'll be, when the heart becomes cleansed, Vidunoti, then Krishna takes his seat there. So he's taking his seat, even in the words of Jarasandha. Okay, so is any comments? First, this is like one of those TV games, whoever's handing. There's no buzzer, but only the speaker can see whose hand really goes up first.
So Jarasandha is calling somebody Ishwar. So in his opinion, who is Ishwar for Jarasandha?
Well, it's described, was it previously, or no, later on, I think, later on when Krishna and Bhima saying, Arjuna, that he worships Vishnu also sometimes. But his idea of Vishnu is probably like a, what do they call, Panchapasana? He has Vishnu and he has Surya and he worships Shiva and Durga and all that. You want to make sure that he gets it right, you know. Even many Hindus today, they worship, you see, sometimes I'm surprised, you see, anyway, not surprised, it's nothing surprising. Kimascharjamata param. But the people they worship, like Indians, they're ISKCON people, but you'll see also the picture of Sai Baba or some bogus rascal. So they want to get it right, so they worship anybody, everybody. Rajneesh, this one, that one. Prabhupada is great, but also this one is Radha Yasna.
I was wondering, because you mentioned about the Chanakya Pandit quote about taking the good from the bad, and so we can get even nectar from Jarasandha's words. But then we hear also that the Maha Mantra chanted from the mouth of a not-so-good person is like milk touched by the poison of the snake. So I was wondering how the most pure thing, we can't take the essence of the mantra if it's spoken by someone bad, but then instructions, Bhagavatam is expounding the philosophy of demons, and we're glorifying.
Well, for one thing is, saram samudratam, the essence has been taken by Sukadeva Goswami. It's described when it is saram, right, the essence, and we're hearing it through Sukadeva and Sutta Goswami. So they've already, just like Lord Shiva, he took poison. He could take poison, right? What is that verse about Teja? Don't imitate. Jatu, Naita Jatu, Manasapyan Ishvara. Those who are not Ishvara, he is Ishvara. So similarly, these great personalities like Sutta Goswami, Sukadeva Goswami, Vyasadeva, they've already purified that poison. We don't have to worry about that this is any poison in here. And that would be my first answer.
Thank you, Prabhu. Nice.
Two points. One question, one comment. Jarasandha bringing all his armies to fight with Krishna. In one sense, it's good because Krishna's purpose is to annihilate the demons and the miscreants. So by him bringing all these huge forces, Krishna is just wiping them out, so that the age, Kali Yuga would step in.
He's going to say that in the next few verses. I already brought 23 armies here, and they are wiped out, so don't feel bad. You only got one army wiped out. He says that a little while.
The other point is, we know Bhagavatam says, what's the need to listen to other scriptures and so forth. But within Bhagavatam itself, there's a verse that says that if one negate the Puranas and Mahabharata, and so he's disturbance to society. You recall that?
He what? Disturbance? What'd you say?
Yeah, he's like a disturbance to society or something. There's one verse in Bhagavatam.
It's not in the Bhagavatam.
It's another scripture.
Shruti Smriti Puranari Pancharatri.
Yeah.
Where
is that from?
ISKCON Hare. It's not Bhagavatam verse, but it's in Bhakti Samriti Sindhu, but it's quoted from Puranas. Yeah. It's a popular verse. Shruti Smriti Purana. What is it? Vidim Bina ISKCON Hare. Yes. So the thing is, Puranas, there's 18 main Puranas and sub-Puranas. So some of them meant for more people are attracted who are in the mode of passion and ignorance also. And then there's 6 for the Sattvika Puranas. But if one is completely outside of that and he's just inventing anything, that's meant for those people. Utpateyaiva. So at least they're being directed towards some Purana. They're directed somewhere. I mean, Krishna says in Gita, even if you can't do pure bhakti, you can do some welfare activity. Even Krishna's giving some here, trying to pull in everybody. Whatever they can do. As they surrender. But if you read the whole Gita, then you'll see. Trananya Bhaktyamam Abhijananti, so many verses about that. Labhyas Trananyaya. Mat karma krin, mat, manmana bhava mat bhakto. So Krishna is saying in 12th chapter, 3 or 4 verses, that if we can't practice and simply think of me, then follow the regulations. You can't even do that, then he'll say, do some meditation, and ultimately give up the fruits of your activity. Which is the verse in 12th chapter? Those verses? In 12th chapter. 60. No, but the ones there where he says, Tyagat Shantra Anantaram. He has to go back and chant the whole Gita now in his head. He chants whole Gita in his head. Yeah, I thought you could say. So, which one is the first that he says? First meditation, and what's better? Right, but then when you get to verse 10, say, or 9 and 10. Achitam samadhatam nashakshasri maistiram. And that says, right. Then the next verse says, if you can't do that, abhyase pyasamatosi kata mat karma paramo bhava. Sarva karma palatyagas yatakuru yadatma. That one says, give up all your activity, do charity. So Krishna is giving so many allowances. But if one reads whole Gita, he won't just come off thinking that just do charity is the final end. It's not. Param Gatim, no. Krishna says, he talks about Param Gatim. Chaitasa sarvakarmani para ananya neva yogena. Yeah, think of me. Okay. No, the verse that says better than this is this, better than this. Shohi Gyanam Abhyasa. No. Dhyanat karma. Say it. Better than dhyana is karma. Is karma phala, not just karma. But giving up just meditation is not the best, but the renunciation is better. Because by doing that, what will happen? He'll get peace. So those who just do meditation, hey, that's not so great.
The English part for the rest of us. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can obtain peace of mind. That was the one you were saying, right?
And what's the next verse?
Now then you start in another thing after that.
Then he starts saying, who pleases me?
Yeah.
Maitra Kairuna.
One who's not envious.
Those who are not.
Was a kind friend.
Adreshta sarvabhutana maitra karunevacha. So even if you've read those verses in Gita, the very next, 12th verse, Adveshta, he says one should be non-envious and compassionate to everyone. It's just like, so these are very preliminary, but Krishna is still saying, So similarly, these Puranas are there, but if one is completely outside the Vedic system, that verse is there. Shruti Smriti. You're not even doing Shruti Smriti. You don't have nothing to do with any Shastras. You're just a completely concocted bozo. Self-proclaimed.
Thanks, Madam. Apparently there's some controversy amongst young parents.
About who?
Amongst young parents. they're concerned about these very descriptive, violent battle scenes. So I wondered what your opinion was.
Oh, you mean like the kids shouldn't read that?
Yeah.
Well, it's in Krishna book, and they have a kids Krishna book, but they may water it down a little bit or clean it up.
Yeah, do you think that's necessary, or should they just get the Bhagavatam straight up?
Well, if they look at the news when they get past 10 and they can read, it's going to be just as vicious or worse than this.
Or the video.
And they're not just soldiers dying, as kids' schools getting blown up.
Yeah, the video games and
the video games, whatever. I don't know who's playing, but
they just feel that
I can't afford a video game, or else I would get some.
I'm sure you'd be very good at it. But they're just wondering, is it really necessary to read these stories, or for them to even hear them? Some parents will take their children out or block their ears. They really feel like it's an injustice to
An
children.
injustice?
Yeah.
Wow. It's like Buddha, right? He was kept in a palatial situation.
Good point.
What? And then when he I think till he was a certain age, and when he came out, he saw people dying in the street, or whatever they had in those days. Old age. He never saw an old person. It's like this German king, Ludwig. He always used to keep only beautiful people in his palace in German Bavaria, you know. He had these fantastic palaces built, and nobody could go there or look ugly or old. And so, but he still died. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I had a cap gun. And Prabhupada, he asked his father for a gun, and then he got one, and he said, well, I want two. So he said, why do you want two? He says, I got two hands. Two guns, two hands.
I know. How does that work with what we're saying?
Violence.
Oh, well.
The kids, a lot of times, they prefer those pastimes.
Oh, yeah.
They like that. Oh, tell me another battle scene.
The boys, maybe. Boys. Girls may not.
The dolls.
Puppy dog. What is it? Puppy dog tales, and the girls have ginger and spice. Everything nice. Anything else? As far as cleaning up the Bhagavatam, I don't know about all that. Actually, it's funny because, like, I used to advertise years ago with the Hinduism Today. It's kind of a funny story. Hinduism Today, you know, they have like the Mayavadi magazine. Basically, all they do is have a magazine. They don't really do anything. They report on whatever all the Hindus are doing. So they wouldn't advertise my art book. I sent them a book when it came out. So I called the guy. They live in Maui or something. And I said, why you won't advertise my book? He said, oh, your book has violence. I said, my book has violence? He said, yes, because... And there was one painting where Krishna cut off the washerman's head. So I said, well, if you're a Hindu, you must have read Mahabharata, and you must have read Ramayana. There's pretty heavy battle scenes in there. And he said, no, we don't read that, you know. And I said, well, you worship Lord Shiva. He destroys the whole universe. That's pretty violent. He didn't really have a good comeback. They do worship Lord Shiva. They have big lingam in there. Anyway. So, anything else?